Well, before we move on to dashboards, I thought we'd take just a little bit deeper look at these action tools and take a look at layering our actions. So this is the spreadsheet we've been looking at. I've got my annual sales computed value. I've got some, as you can see in my worksheet, I've got some action items already set up. What I want to do is set up some additional action items. First thing I want to do is I want to create a couple of more spreadsheets. One spreadsheet I want to create is going to be a spreadsheet where I simply show audits. Okay, so I'm going to show here in this first one, I'm going to set up my audits, whether or not they've been audited, with my annual sales. Okay, and actually, that's not what I want to do it by my state. Okay. So what I can do, and if I want to do it state by region, I can do that as well. But I want to show whether or not they have been audited or not. Now you notice here these ABCs. I don't want that. I want to actually show yeses and nos. And the way I do that is I take audit and I drag it down over text, and it's going to turn all those from that into text. So it's kind of nice. I can tell which states are finished with their audits and which states are not. So that is I'm going to change. I'm going to call the name of that sheet. We're going to rename it and call it State Audits. Now what I want to do is I want to create one more sheet, and I'm going to call that one Dealer Audits. Let's do that. So Dealer Audits, and again I'm going to take audited, I'm going to bring it up here to my columns, I'm going to put it over here in my text, and then I'm going to bring my dealerships over here. And this is going to do it by dealership, and actually I'd probably want to do it by state. So I'm going to do it, and I'm going to drag it over this way. So I've got all this information here, and I'm going to save this as well. So now what I can do, I'm going to create a couple of more worksheet actions. So I'm going to go back in here, and the first worksheet action I am going to do, I'm going to add, is a worksheet action that allows me to use my sales by region. And then I'm going to put state audits as my target. And I'm going to leave that on the menu, and we'll save it. I'm also going to want to add one, let me go back and name that. So that's going to be state audits. I'm also going to create a sheet, an action, that just has these dealer audits on it, that I want to be able to go from my sales by dealer to my dealer audits right there. And so when I click on that, again, I'm going to leave it menu. And so I've got I got to name it also, didn't I? I didn't name it. So we'll call that dealer audits. And we'll hit OK, and we'll hit OK. So now that I have my worksheets in, and I have the the actions in that I want, let's go back and start here. So when I've got these individual regional sales, and I want to dig deeper, now that I've got it set up, I can click on one. Let's just say we click on West, and it's going to give me some options here in my menu. I can do regional sales, or I can do state audits. So if I do regional sales, it's going to take me to the regional sales. If I go back and I do choose state audits, it's going to tell me for that state which things have been audited, which states have been audited, which state has not. West, 100% audit, right? If I go, let's just say I picked Central, and I go to state audits, I can see that Indiana has not been audited, North Dakota is not audited, Ohio is not audited, and West Virginia is not audited. So I would need to make sure and check and see how that goes. Now, if we go back here and go to Southeast region, remember this data is kind of interesting because what I did not do is I did not put in dealerships for every region. I just put in the dealership information for the Southeast. So if we want to dig down to that, we go to set regional data. We go to regional sales. Once I'm at regional sales, let's just pick on, say, Texas. I can click on Texas, and it's going to give me an option. I want to go to dealer sales. Yes, I do. So I can see the dealer sales for the for Texas. And then if I want to click on an individual dealer, let's say East Dallas Ford, if I want to click on them, I can then go to check my dealer audit, and sure enough, they have been audited. So what you can see is you can layer these actions. You can set up the actions to do different things. A single sheet like this one can have multiple actions associated with it. Down here we have two options we can do for that. There's two options: regional sales and state audit. So we can set up multiples of those, where a particular worksheet can be a source file for multiple actions. And we also saw in this that if you're doing two things like audits and you get those strange ABCs, you can change up by just dragging that over the label, and it'll give you your actual little labels. So we've done a lot with this layering of actions. The final thing we're going to work on is dashboards.